At our pre-wedding party on a gleaming white yacht, Julian's best man pointed to a treasure chest resting on the seabed far below. "That's our wedding gift to you, Clara," he said, a smirk playing on his lips. "Bring it up, and we'll finally accept you as one of us." The water was 120 meters deep, nearly 400 feet. There was only one oxygen tank. The world record for an unassisted free dive was 113 meters. A cruel party game ensued. Julian drew the king card, granting him the power to choose who would dive unassisted, me or his childhood friend Chloe. He took my hand, his grip warm and deceptively reassuring. "The wedding rings you wanted, the ones we chose together, are in that box," he whispered, his eyes searching mine. "I hope you're the one to bring them back. I want to be the one to place them on your finger. Will you do this for me?" I suppressed the tremor in my own hand, took a deep breath, and plunged into the abyss alone. Just before my lungs gave out and consciousness began to fade, I surfaced, dragging the heavy box with me. I collapsed on the deck, my body convulsing, only to see him open it. Inside wasn't the velvet box holding our rings, but a silk pouch containing the diamond necklace Chloe had been coveting for months. My already fractured heart felt like it was being squeezed in a fistful of salt. But I seemed to have forgotten to tell Julian one small detail. The oxygen in the tank I'd left behind was almost gone. Like a suffocating fish, I lay on the sand, gasping for air, a grim satisfaction curling within me. I could almost picture Chloe wanting to scream for help but too terrified to open her mouth as she sank deeper. It was a terrible fate, but it was the one her beloved childhood friend had so carefully chosen for her. Amidst the cheers for my return, Julian stormed towards me, his face a mask of fury. "Clara, you did that on purpose, didn't you?" By the time the oxygen gauge hit zero, Chloe would have been near the bottom. The air in her lungs would never have been enough to bring her back to the surface. A bitter laugh escaped my lips. "On purpose? Weren't you the one who made the choice?" His expression faltered, his eyes blazing with a fire that was equal parts rage and guilt. They pulled Chloe's limp body from the water. Forgetting me completely, Julian shoved me aside, sending me stumbling back into the shallows, and rushed to her side. His best man awkwardly draped a blanket over my shoulders. "Hey, don't mind him, Clara. Chloe almost died. Julian is just..." I had finally heard him call me by my name with a semblance of familiarity, but the victory felt hollow. I sidestepped his touch. "Don't force it. Julian and I are breaking up." Leaving him staring in disbelief, I pulled out my phone, my fingers moving with a new sharp clarity. "The wedding is off. We're over." Then I walked away without a backward glance. Later, scrolling through my phone, I saw Chloe's new social media post. "True love is a bond more precious than friendship." The accompanying photo was of Julian's hands, gently warming the 4-tube connected to her arm. For once I didn't scream or cry. I just calmly typed a comment below her post. "How lovely. Wishing you a lifetime of happiness together." The moment I was back in the city, I contacted a trusted jeweler and sold the necklace. With the money, I bought a sprawling, flower-choked villa in Florence. I had finally understood. No matter how similar their faces were, Julian could never be the boy I once loved. So I was letting him go. On the way to a follow-up doctor's appointment, my phone buzzed violently, pulling me from my thoughts. I lifted a hand to my face and was surprised to find it wet with tears. It was Julian. Shouldn't he be at Chloe's bedside, whispering promises and soothing her fragile nerves? Why would he have time to call someone as insignificant as me? I answered, confused. "What new drama is this?" he roared without preamble. "We're not getting married? What about the baby? There's a limit to your games, Clara. How could you use something as important as our wedding to throw a jealous fit?" So he remembered I was pregnant. When I didn't respond, his voice came again, slightly softer. "I can let the oxygen tank incident slide, but you need to delete that comment and apologize to Chloe. Right now. Don't you know she has depression? Your comment made her feel so guilty she almost tried to kill herself." I bit my lips so hard I tasted blood, the only way to stop the sob from rising in my throat. "No, I won't apologize." From his end of the line, I heard Chloe's tearful, weak voice. "It's okay, Julian. I'm just happy I'm alive to see you." Clara is such a proud person. Don't force her to apologize to me. As expected, her words were like gasoline on a fire. Julian's tone became venomous. Delete it. Don't make me say it a third time. Or this wedding is well and truly over. He hung up. A sharp, pulling pain started in my lower abdomen. My vision swam and the world went black. The pressure from the dive, the severe cold. The doctor said the baby couldn't be saved. The hospital was full, so I was on a gurney in a crowded hallway when I tried to call Julian. He declined my calls one after another, his impatience a familiar sting. Then a text. Chloe just fell asleep. Stop calling me. And I meant what I said. You don't delete that comment. I don't care if you die in a ditch. I'm not changing my mind. After that, he blocked me. He expected me to grovel, to immediately obey, maybe even offer to go and take care of Chloe myself. But this time I didn't. Tears splashed onto the stark black words on the medical report. Threatened miscarriage. Ignoring the twisting agony in my belly, I walked into the operating room. I can't remember how many times Julian has abandoned me for Chloe. I don't know why I stayed for so long. He was so different from the boy I loved, the boy who until his dying breath had always chosen me first. But none of that mattered anymore. My uterine wall was thin, so I had to stay in the hospital for 3 days. In all that time, Julian never called. I came home to a silent apartment. The daffodils on the dining table had withered, and a thin layer of dust coated the wedding dress. The bridal company had delivered. A bitter smile touched my lips. Of course he hadn't had time to call. He hadn't even been home. I buried myself under the covers and slept until the middle of the night. In a daze, I thought I saw Julian's broad silhouette standing in the doorway. Believing it was a dream, I rolled over, but I heard him mutter. Sleeping like a log. Doesn't even know I'm home. The next morning, I woke up from the heat. The furnace wrapped tightly around me was Julian. It hadn't been a dream. But instead of adjusting the thermostat as I usually would, I simply got up, washed my face, and ate my single portion of breakfast. He woke up and watched me, a flicker of guilt in his eyes. When I remained silent, he sighed. All right, fine. You don't have to delete it. Just stop pulling that long face. You look like you've lost a child. 1,000 tiny needles seemed to course through my veins. The thought of that baby, not even 3 months old, made my hand clench. I slammed my chopsticks down on the table. Julian's brow furrowed, ready to ignite. But he seemed to remember something and his voice softened. Don't be angry. Chloe's health has always been delicate. She was in shock. I couldn't leave her alone. But the moment she was stable, I came right back, didn't I? I said, my voice flat. I believe you. After all, if there was anything real between you two, you would have been together long ago. There'd be no place for me. I was giving him the peaceful reaction he wanted, yet my words made his face darken. What's with the sarcasm? You say you're not angry. I sighed, weary. I'm really not. As I started to walk away, he grabbed my arm. You are. I told you her family is all overseas, that's why I look out for her. Can you please stop making a big deal out of nothing? I stared at his hand gripping my wrist. You're hurting me. He looked down and saw the ring of purple bruises already forming. He flinched and loosened his grip but didn't let go. I didn't mean to. I was just... I know, I said, pulling my hand free. I'm not blaming you. Without another glance at him, I went to the sunroom to water the plants. I could feel his gaze burning into my back until his phone rang again. A moment later, I heard the jingle of keys and the sound of a car engine starting. After tending to the withered flowers, I left too. I went to a law firm and had them draft divorce papers. We hadn't had the wedding, but the day we found out about the baby, we had gone to the courthouse and made it legal. I still can't understand it. How can a man be overjoyed by the prospect of new life in the morning, and by the afternoon, resent that same life for getting in the way of him and his childhood friend? I remember standing outside the courthouse disbelieving that we were actually married. But I couldn't refuse him. Not when he saw the pregnancy test, his eyes filled with a galaxy of stars. Not when he knelt and pressed his ear to my stomach, whispering clumsy greetings to our baby. Our joy lasted until Chloe's call came. The moment he hung up, a chilling calm settled over him. Something came up at the office. I can't stay. You'll have to get a cab home. He turned to leave. I couldn't switch my emotions off like he could. I ran and grabbed his arm. Don't go, please. We just got married. I don't even know what to buy for the baby yet. Can't we look together? He shook my hand off with a flash of irritation. Clara, can you stop being so childish? You're about to be a mother. Can't you be more mature? His voice dropped, laced with ice. And don't think that just because you're pregnant with my child, you can do whatever you want. If that's the case, I'd rather we never had this child at all. I froze. Childish? Shouldn't I be upset? He hadn't gotten a call from the office. I had clearly heard Chloe's voice on the phone, saying she was in a bad mood and wanted to go diving, asking if he was free. Was it childish to stop my brand new husband from going on a trip with another woman? Because I was an obstacle to his time with Chloe. He'd rather not have our child? Looking back, if I hadn't been so dazed, if I had just walked away then and there, would my baby still be safe? The thought solidified my resolve. My flight to Florence was soon, so on my way out I also applied for my visa. When I got home, the house was dark. Where have you been? Why are you back so late? The voice from the sofa made me jump. It was Julian. I thought he wouldn't be back tonight, that I'd have to go to his office to get the papers signed. In the dim light, I could see an unusual anxiety on his face. Had something happened to Chloe again? I had no intention of being his punching bag, so I instinctively tried to retreat. My movement seemed to trigger him. He stood up and strode towards me. What are you hiding from? Don't you know you're pregnant? What if someone hurt you out there alone? It was almost laughable. He wasn't worried when he told me to get home by myself on our wedding day. He wasn't worried when he sent me into the ocean to dive 120 meters. But now, because I came home late, he was concerned. I know, I said, calmly pulling my hand from his grasp. It won't happen again. What do I have to do to make you believe me? He pleaded, his voice tight. I told you there's nothing going on between me and Chloe. He looked at my hand, then at his, as if remembering how he'd bruised me that morning. He snatched his hand back. After a moment of pacing, his eyes lit up. He pulled me towards the dining table. Look, I bought this for you this morning. He looked away, a faint blush on his cheeks, but his voice was bright. This is your favorite strawberry mousse, isn't it? I went to 3 different bakeries to find the last one. I felt a wave of helplessness. A voice in my head warned me that telling him about the divorce now would lead to a terrible scene. But I couldn't drag this out any longer. He didn't sense my turmoil, still lost in his grand gesture. Thinking I was speechless with joy, he took my hand and guided it to cut the cake. The knife hit something hard. A terrible premonition washed over me. He pulled a small, elegant box from the center of the mousse. You've wanted these wedding rings for so long, he said softly. Come on, let me put them on you. Let's get a divorce. He froze, his smile vanishing. Clara, that's not a funny joke. I met his gaze. I'm not joking. You and Chloe are meant for each other. I'm just making room for her. He suddenly laughed, a strange, misplaced confidence in his tone. So you are still angry? Fine. If it makes you happy, I won't see Chloe anymore. Is that what you want to hear? He reached to put an arm around me. I tried to step away, but my foot slipped on a fallen lily petal on the floor. Clara! He hadn't expected me to fall. Unable to catch me in time, he twisted his body, wrapping his arms around me and taking the full impact of the fall himself. He ignored his own pain, his first question being, Are you okay? I'm fine, I said, pushing away from him. Let me up. But he wouldn't let go, his hand moving to my stomach. How can you be fine? The baby. Are you in pain? A wave of revulsion washed over me. I shoved his hand away. Don't touch me. It was as if he couldn't hear me. We have to go to the hospital. What if the baby is hurt? He tried to lift me into his arms. I had reached my limit. Julian. My voice was dead calm. Our baby is already gone. What? How is that possible? For a fleeting moment, disbelief warred with horror on his face. Impossible. Clara, you're lying to me, aren't you? But when his eyes met mine, they instantly turned red. He knew how much I had loved this child. He knew I would never joke about something like this. His own joy when he'd first found out had once made me believe he loved our child as much as I did. Until the pre-wedding party. How could this happen? His pain seemed genuine, which only confused me more. This was all his doing. Why the pretense now? Was it that day? At the party? He whispered, his gaze darting away, his body rigid as stone. I nodded. The color drained from his face, his features twisting in agony. But how? My mother went bungee jumping when she was pregnant with me. How could it be gone so easily? I'm not lying, I said, cutting through his denial. The fetus was unstable in the early stages. The water pressure was too much. The baby was gone that same night. I placed the divorce papers on the table. Sign them. Any further delay will just be a waste of both our time. Without waiting for his reaction, I turned and went upstairs. The front door slammed shut behind me with a deafening bang. But he was back only a few minutes later, drenched from the rain, his eyes bloodshot. Clara, I'm all wet. I frowned. Did the rain wash his brain away? I wasn't blind. His eyes darted around nervously. You used to make that ginger tea. Aren't you going to make some for me? I saw the flicker of hope in his eyes and finally understood. He loved water sports, and I always had a warm cup of ginger tea ready. For him when he came home. He usually ignored it or even belittled my efforts. And I certainly wasn't in the mood to coddle him now. If you're sick, go see a doctor. A cup of ginger tea won't do anything. He stood frozen, clearly not expecting such a response. After all, I had always been so compliant. Tonight, not only had I not rushed to his side, but I had coolly told him to seek medical help. He still didn't seem to grasp my determination to sever all ties. I know you don't love me, I said, deciding to lay everything bare. You only agreed to marry me because of the baby. Now that the baby is gone, it's the perfect opportunity. I was wrong to chase you for so long. I'm offering you an unconditional divorce. The assets will be divided according to the prenuptial agreement. I won't take a penny more. Seeing his dark expression, I added, we're adults. Let's not make this ugly for others to laugh at. Let's just let each other go. His fists, still dripping with rain, tightened. What are you talking about? I only took care of Chloe for a few days. I didn't do anything. Why can't you let it go? His voice was desperate. I know I was wrong about the baby, but I promised you I wouldn't see her anymore. I admit I used to have feelings for her, but that was in the past. Why are you so obsessed with my past with her? Was it only in the past? Maybe. But even if he didn't love her anymore, the fact that he had abandoned me for her time and time again was an indelible truth. I've told you many times, I said, exhaling slowly. I'm not angry about you and Chloe. I want a divorce because we are simply not right for each other. And this is the best choice for both of us, isn't it? No, I don't think so. His tone was resolute and eerily familiar. It was the same tone he'd used when I'd first asked him to introduce me to his friends. Don't you have hands and feet? If you want their approval, earn it yourself, he had sneered. If you rely on me for everything, what's the difference between you and those trashy mistresses? But how had he introduced Chloe? This is my childhood friend, my little sister from when I lived abroad. I'll protect her for the rest of my life. So none of you better bully her. To this day, most people knew Julian Archer had a treasured Chloe, but few knew he had a legal wife named Clara. I held the divorce papers out to him again. Just sign it. Think of it as taking pity on me. He snatched the papers and ripped them to shreds. Impossible. Clara, are you really this heartless? I didn't respond. He became more agitated. Clara, say something. You won't even talk to me now. He shook my shoulders, trying to find a flicker of regret or pity in my eyes. There was none. He suddenly seemed to deflate, all his energy gone. In contrast to his frenzy, I calmly broke free from his grasp. Right now, I was more willing, more determined to leave him than ever. Before, staying in the same room would only lead to more conflict. I grabbed my documents and my phone and, ignoring his pleas, I left. That night, for the first time in a long time, I dreamed of him. The boy I loved. My mother was a nurse hired to care for Leo Archer. I was 15 when I met him for the second time. He was sitting in a wheelchair in a garden, sunlight gently caressing him. He noticed me staring but simply smiled and beckoned me over. "I'm Leo," he said. "What's your name?" I clutched my faded school uniform, too shy to step forward. "I don't have many friends here," he continued, undeterred. "If you'd like, would you be my only audience?" He lifted his hands to the portable keyboard on his lap and began to play. My shyness was no match for my admiration. The more I accompanied my mother to the sanatorium, the more I learned about him. He was the eldest son of the city's wealthiest man. He had a twin brother, Julian, who lived abroad with their mother. And he had been diagnosed with terminal cancer last year. As the years passed, his condition worsened. His perpetually gentle face became twisted with pain. "Clara," he'd said one day, "have you heard of Florence? They say it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. If I ever get the chance, I'd like to go there with you." His younger brother, Julian, returned to the country. "Clara, I'm sorry about Julian," Leo had told me. "He's impulsive and doesn't know his own strength. I've grounded him for a year. He won't pull your hair again." When Leo passed away, he left a letter for me, delivered by his brother. "Clara, did your final exams go well?" "Clara, I'm sorry, I have to break my promise. I can't wait for the weekend." "Clara, don't cry. Study hard. Will you go and see how beautiful Florence is for me?" "Clara, I'm sorry. I hope your life is long, happy, and free from pain." I had collapsed, clutching the letter, my world ending. I had first met Leo in the school's equipment room. I was being bullied for my good grades and shy nature. He, the student council president, had found me struggling to move a mountain of equipment by myself. He not only helped me but warned my bullies to leave me alone. Maybe it was just his duty, but what Cinderella doesn't fall for a prince? But Julian was not my prince, even if they were identical. The sound of rain woke me. It was time to end things with Julian for good. I didn't expect trouble to find me first. As I was leaving my hotel, a mob of reporters and online trolls surrounded me. "Look, it's her. The homewrecker is staying here." Phones were shoved in my face, cameras flashing. "Shameless woman, sleeping her way to the top. Mr. Archer and Chloe have been together for years. How dare she interfere?" It took me a moment to piece it together from their venomous shouts. Chloe was a minor influencer, known for flaunting her wealth. Her fans called themselves her cherries. She had posted that hospital photo, not just to her private circle, but to her public blog, twisting the narrative to paint me as the other woman. The internet was a cesspool of hate directed at me, and the most rabid had found my location. "I don't know where you got your information," I said, my voice shaking but firm, "but I am Julian Archer's legal wife. Please stop spreading these rumors, or I will take legal action." I pulled out my phone and showed them a photo of our marriage certificate. They just laughed. "That's a pretty good Photoshop job. You could do anything with those skills, why be a mistress?" They snatched my phone from my hands. They found the one photo I had of me and Leo. "Hey, who's this? Is this Mr. Archer when he was younger?" "No way. Look, Mr. Archer has a small red mole on his neck. This guy doesn't. She must be so obsessed she photoshopped his face onto someone else's body. Scary. As if someone like her could ever get close to Mr. Archer. The guy with her is probably trash too. Look how close they are. They should both just die." Slap. "Ah, you hit me." My palm stung. They could say whatever they wanted about me, but not Leo. I would not allow anyone to insult his memory. My attacker, enraged, hurled my phone at my head. It struck my forehead, and warm liquid trickled into my eyes, but I only cared about grabbing my phone from the ground. She kicked it away. "Still trying to get your phone? In your dreams. Get her." She hit me first, it's self-defense. The crowd surged forward. They kicked and punched me, their faces contorted with a righteous fury that had nothing to do with them. "Scratch her face. Let's see how she seduces anyone after this." Sharp nails clawed at my cheeks. They grabbed my hair, slapping me repeatedly. The dull ache in my abdomen, a phantom of the life I'd lost, returned with a vengeance. I coughed, tasting blood. The lead girl held my phone above my head. You love to Photoshop, right? Let's see what you do when I delete all your pictures. Her friend chimed in. Don't forget to clear the trash bin. No. I screamed, panicked. It was the only photo I had of him. Regretting it now? She sneered. I'll do anything you want, I begged, tears streaming down my face. Please just don't delete it. No. Too late. She factory reset the phone and tossed it aside. I scrambled to pick it up, but it was over. I stared at the blank screen, the empty photo album, and felt the same despair I'd felt the day Leo died. The world faded to a dull roar. Just before I lost consciousness, I thought I heard someone shout, "Make way! It's Mr. Archer. Mr. Archer is here." I woke up to the smell of antiseptic. Julian was by my bedside. He pressed the call button and then stood silently, not looking at me. After the doctor left, he spoke, his voice hoarse. I'm sorry. This was my fault. I didn't know Chloe posted that photo on her blog. I didn't handle the situation in time. It's not your fault, I interrupted, closing my eyes. Thank you for bringing me here. He flinched at my cold tone. Chloe and the people who attacked you. I won't let any of them go. You just rest. As for your flight to Florence, it's already passed. He grabbed my hand, his own trembling. When you're better, I'll take you to Florence. Just don't leave me. I was wrong, I really was. We won't get a divorce, okay? I'll be good to you, I promise. I'll drop everything and we can go to Florence, for as long as you want, just please. I pulled my hand away. Do you know why I wanted to go to Florence? He opened his mouth, then closed it. He had no idea. I looked at the face so much like Leo's and felt a pang of guilt. I'm sorry. I was never with you for the right reasons. He let out a breath of relief. Is that all? That's fine, I don't care. It's because you look so much like your brother. The smile vanished from his face. I realized I could never accept that he was gone, I continued. So when I saw you again, Enough. Stop talking, he roared, his voice cracking. Veins bulged on his forehead, but his reddened eyes betrayed his pain. Clara, you're lying, aren't you? You're saying this to punish me for what I did. For our baby. I didn't answer, but my gaze was unwavering. He covered my eyes with his hand. No, you're lying. How could you have liked my brother? He was never with any girls, how could you? Possibly. His voice trailed off. He looked up, his throat working. You're Clara? He whispered, using the name Leo had called me. I nodded. He stumbled back. How? I thought it was the other Clara. With the character for Hope. He leaned against the wall, shaking. But he wouldn't leave. He shed all his pride. Being a replacement didn't matter anymore. He just had to know. Did you ever love me? The arrogant man brought to his knees, begging for a shred of affection. Not this face, he clarified, his voice barely a whisper. Me. Julian. Clara, did you ever love Julian? I had imagined 1,000 different reactions. I thought he would storm out, vowing to destroy me. I never expected this. I turned my head away. Never. In the end, he agreed to the divorce. I don't know why he let me go so easily, but my stubbornness had died with Leo. I did love Julian once, but that was in the past, and the past can be rewritten. I finally made it to Florence. The sun warmed my hair, and it felt like Leo was whispering to me. Clara, keep moving forward.